Jungkook left. Taehyung sat there, staring at the empty seat across from him, his heart pounding so hard it felt like it might shatter. He had expected anger. He had expected resistance. But this absolute indifference, it felt worse than hate. Because it meant Jungkook had truly moved on. Taehyung swallowed hard, gripping the edge of the table. No. This isn't over. Jungkook could walk away 100 times, and Taehyung would chase him 100 more. Because this time, he wasn't going to lose him. The moment he stepped out of the cafe, Jungkook exhaled sharply. His heart was pounding, but not from longing. From relief. Because for the first time, he had said what he needed to say. For the first time, he had walked away first. No more waiting. No more hoping. No more wondering what if. Jungkook had finally broken free. And he wasn't looking back. A new rumor Taehyung barely had time to recover from their conversation before the headlines hit. Ji and Jungkook spotted with rising actor Min Han-woo, new romance in the works. Taehyung's stomach dropped. The article was everywhere, pictures of Jungkook at an event, standing close to a tall, handsome man, their body language easy and familiar. His breath caught. Jungkook had said he was done with him. But was he already seeing someone else? Taehyung's hands clenched. No. He wouldn't accept this. Jungkook was his. And if Jungkook thought he could erase what they had just like that, then Taehyung would just have to remind him. Jungkook's warning. Taehyung found him at another event a few nights later. The venue was packed, the air buzzing with conversation and music. Taehyung barely paid attention to anything else. His eyes were locked onto one person. Jungkook. He was standing by the bar, looking effortlessly stunning in a sleek black suit, his hairstyle just right. And beside him, that man. Min Han-woo. Taehyung didn't hesitate. He strode forward, heart pounding, ignoring the questioning looks from others. Jungkook noticed him immediately. His expression didn't change. Not even a flicker of emotion. Hyung, Jungkook greeted, voice smooth and unreadable. Didn't expect to see you here, Taehyung swallowed. We need to talk, Jungkook tilted his head. Do we? Yes, Taehyung said firmly. Alone, Han-woo glanced between them, then turned to Jungkook. I'll give you two a moment. Jungkook didn't stop him. Once they were alone, Taehyung exhaled. Are you seeing him? Jungkook's lips curled slightly. Why do you care? Because, Taehyung hesitated. Then, quieter, because I still love you. Jungkook's gaze darkened. There was a time when those words would have broken him. Now? They only made him tired. You don't get to say that, Jungkook murmured. Not after everything. Taehyung's throat tightened. I made a mistake. You made a choice, Jungkook corrected, his voice sharp. And now, I've made mine. Taehyung reached for him, desperation seeping into his voice. Jungkook, please. Jungkook pulled back, eyes flashing. I am moving on, he said coldly. And if you really loved me, you'd let me. Taehyung's chest ached. I can't. Jungkook stared at him for a long moment. Then, with quiet finality, he said, then that's your problem, and with that, he walked away again. Leaving Taehyung standing there, lost in the wreckage of his own mistakes. Jungkook wasn't coming back. No matter what Taehyung did, no matter what he said, Jungkook wouldn't break. Taehyung had begged. He had apologized. He had tried to make him remember what they used to be. But Jungkook had looked him in the eyes and said he was done. Taehyung should have let go. But love wasn't logical. And losing Jungkook wasn't an option. So he did the one thing he had never done before. He walked away first. Days turned into weeks. And for the first time in a long time, Taehyung was silent. No texts. No calls. No sudden appearances. Jungkook should have felt relieved. But he didn't. Because the absence that used to bring him peace now left behind something else. An ache. Jungkook had spent so long waiting for Taehyung to fight for him. And now that he finally had, why did it feel like something was missing? One last meeting. The night was cold when Jungkook found him. Taehyung was standing on a rooftop, staring at the city lights below. He didn't turn around when Jungkook approached. "I heard you're leaving," Jungkook said quietly. Taehyung nodded. "Yeah. I think it's time." Jungkook clenched his fists. Running away. Taehyung exhaled a small laugh. "No, Jungkook." Letting go, Jungkook's breath hitched. He had wanted this. Hadn't he? He had wanted Taehyung to finally understand that love wasn't just about words. That regret wasn't enough. Then why did it feel like his heart was shattering? Taehyung finally turned to face him, a sad smile on his lips. "I just wanted to say, I'm sorry. Not because I want you back. Not because I expect anything. Just because you deserve better." Jungkook swallowed hard. "Hyung." Taehyung shook his head. "You don't have to say anything. I just wanted you to know." Jungkook hated the way Taehyung looked at him in that moment. Not with desperation. Not with expectation. But with love. Love that was finally unselfish. And for the first time, Jungkook realized Taehyung had changed. But was it too late? Jungkook took a shaky breath. "If we met again one day," Taehyung's eyes softened. "Then maybe," Taehyung whispered, "we'll get it right next time." Jungkook bit his lip. "And if there is no next time," Taehyung smiled, "then I'll just be happy knowing that once I love you, and this time, he was the one who walked away." Jungkook hadn't forgotten. He had moved on, had lived his life. But on quiet nights, when the city lights looked a little too familiar, he still thought of Taehyung. And then, one day, he saw him again. At a cafe. Sitting by the window, looking different, looking the same. Taehyung looked up. Their eyes met. And maybe, just maybe, this time, they'd get it right. Years later. Jungkook never thought he'd see Taehyung again. But fate had a way of proving him wrong. The cafe was warm, filled with the soft hum of conversations. Jungkook had only stepped in for a quick coffee, but the moment his eyes landed on him, the world stopped. Taehyung. Sitting by the window, fingers wrapped around a cup, eyes lost in thought. He looked different, more mature, more at peace. But when he turned his head and their gazes met, Jungkook felt it. The same pull. The same ache. The same undeniable connection. Taehyung's lips parted slightly in surprise. For a moment, neither of them moved. Then, slowly, hesitantly, Taehyung smiled. Jungkook's heart clenched. Hadn't he moved on? Hadn't he spent years convincing himself that their story was over? So why did it feel like this was the moment he had been waiting for all along? Jungkook exhaled shakily. And then, for the first time in years, he took a step toward Taehyung. Maybe fate wasn't finished with them just yet.